In this video, I'm going to break down my digital painting process, focusing on semi-realistic rendering, especially lighting, fabric shading, hair blending, and glow effects. Alright, let's get started. Choosing and studying references. Choosing the right reference makes a huge difference. Pick a photo with strong contrast between light and shadow. If you're a beginner, avoid fluffy outfits or complex textures. They can be tricky to render. Once you have your reference, break it down. Where's the main light source? Direct sunlight? A soft lamp? Where are the darkest shadows? Identify areas where no light reaches. Where's the reflected light? Light bounces off nearby surfaces, like how the sky casts a soft blue tint on shadows. Sketching and line art. I like to start with a loose sketch using basic shapes to define the form. For line art, I keep it minimal. I won't add too many details since most of them will be refined during rendering. Also, I don't zoom in too much when sketching. Staying zoomed out helps me keep the overall composition balanced. Coloring and shading. Now that we have our sketch, let's move on to coloring and shading. Step 1. Base colors first. Add a neutral gray layer below the line art. Then, fill in the base colors using a clipping mask. Step 2. Cell shading for depth. Add a multiply layer above the base colors. Fill the entire layer with a cool gray-blue tone. This helps unify the shadows. Then, erase the areas where light hits to define highlights. For extra realism, I add darker shades within the light areas. This makes the shading look more informative and structured. Fabric rendering and hard versus soft shadows. Now, let's refine the clothing folds. Fabric follows tension points, like where the shirt is tucked or stretched. Soft folds. Blend them smoothly using a low opacity brush. Sharp creases. Use harder brush strokes to define edges. Reflective light is important too. In my artwork, the blue sky subtly reflects onto the shirt and hair, giving them a cooler tint. Hair rendering and natural flow. Hair should feel soft but structured. I add subtle strands, but avoid over-detailing. Too many strands can make the hair look stiff. Remember, big forms first, strands second. Focus on volume before adding details. Glow effects and final touches. Now it's time to add finishing touches that make the painting come to life. I will trace the edge of the subject to make it look more refined. Add a soft warm glow to skin and hair using an overlay layer. Apply subtle rim lighting on the edges to make the character stand out. Adjust hue/saturation to fine-tune the overall color balance. You can use a gradient map to unify all the tones. At this stage, I also check if any areas feel too flat and add extra depth where needed. That's it. If you found this tutorial helpful, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more digital art content.